Mr. President, I move to approve 31.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I think that concludes your concerns, Mr.
No,
Ellis.
there's two more. 54 couple more,
A
yes.
couple more?
Yes, Mr. President, thank you very much. Item number 54 is another legal fee for a maximum of almost $1 million, 150,000, just south of $1 million, 939,000 for Miller, Brown, and Dennis. And that's just a lot of money for one law firm on one item. So I'd really like an explanation as to why we're spending that kind of money on one firm.
And this actually is a cost that was incurred prior to June 30th that we recently just received the invoice for, and we reflected that in the description of the item. The law firm, I think previously we'd given the board an accounting that included some accruals, and that meant our estimates of what we thought it might be, and it was over $1 million at that time. We find that the actual invoices, now that we have finally got them, are significantly less than that. Still, I'm not saying it's not a large amount of money, but I'm saying that the estimates that we gave the board have now been updated, and I believe that the superintendent has provided the board with an updated spreadsheet showing actual values after invoices were received. And this reflects that. This is through June 30th. The contract had been approved from to 850,000, and now it would be 930,000 based on invoices actually received. The work was for legal work involving both negotiations and certain types of litigation, some with the Public Employees Retirement Board and some civil litigation.
Dr. Williams?
Mr. President, I would submit that these figures do seem to be exorbitant standing alone as they are, but I would basically like to see how these figures compare with comparable school districts, with comparable kinds of issues that we have, so that we can see the relationship between the fees that we're having to deal with and some other school districts. It just doesn't make that kind of sense standing alone as they are, but I think if we can look at these figures in comparison to other comparable school districts, they might make more sense.
Mr. Stallings, would you say that the money was principally spent on labor negotiations? Was that the principal job that the firm of Miller, Brown, and Dennis was engaged in?
It was one of the principal jobs, but there were also a series of claims and suits that were brought against the district that this law firm also dealt with.
And I'd like to add that one of Mr. Ellis's requests was a 5-year history of legal costs of the district, and those documents were given to the board today, and it shows our legal costs from 2000, I believe 2001 to 2006, and actually our overall legal cost this year is less than it was, 2006 was less than 2005, and when you look at dollars, I believe Mr. Stallings, it was approximately $2.1 million in 2001 and approximately $2.4 million, 2.5 in 2006.
It was relatively close to what was spent 3 and 4 years
I'm sorry, we got
ago.
that today?
Yeah, that's up in the office at the by Teresa's desk with all the board members. You had asked last time, and so Mr. Stallings went back and got all the data for it.
Did someone give that to me already, or
No,
it's just still up in the
it's
office?
in your file.
Okay.
Well, I would like to join with my colleagues in being concerned about just how much is being spent on legal fees, particularly one firm coming in, whether it's just under $1 million or over $1 million. But I would also point out that these are fees for services already rendered. We need to pay our bills, so I have no particular problem in voting for it at this point. But in the future, I think it would behoove us all to be very careful about exactly how much we contract with legal firms for.
And going back to the original question I raised, with respect to these fees, the information that you just put out in terms of the fees that are being paid by the district for legal fees, I would like to see a comparison made with other districts, comparable districts in terms of their fees, and how our fees might match up in terms of the fees that other districts have to pay. I would like to see that added to the information that you just put together.
Very good. Mr. Ellis, are you wish to probe that further?
I'm satisfied with the discussion.
Would you like to make a motion?
No, I would not.
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose?
No.
Very good. You had another item?
Yes, 55. Could staff explain that agreement, please?
Yeah, this firm has been retained to do one specific job, and that is to visit all sites in the district and inventory the condition of every relocatable on the district. And that's to update an inventory on relocatables in terms of the condition they're in, to provide us with the information that we need to make some decisions or to make some recommendations to the board regarding should we continue to lease certain relocatables, return them to the state, some are state relocatables, or purchase certain relocatables to keep within the district or move to other sites. And that involves their ADA compliance, their overall structure, integrity, whether they can be moved or can't, or should possibly even be demolished.
We're talking about portables here, right?
Right.
Portable classrooms, et
Right,
cetera. Uh-huh.
throughout the district. And so that's a decision that we're going to need to recommend to the board be addressed as soon as we get this information together district-wide on our portable buildings.
Thank you. I'd like to request that we get a report on how many portable facilities we have at each site, like how many classrooms we're using as portable classrooms. And then I'd like to move to approve 55.
A second?
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye. Mr. President, before we leave this, and I know we've already passed this item, I have one quick question.
Sure,
if
go
it's
ahead,
not
Dr.
out of
Ward.
order. On number 36, there is to the Broad Center to provide reimbursement of 50% of the salary for someone serving as a program resident in the district's urban education program. 50% is $86,000. Why are we paying this 50%?
No, it's 50% is $43,000.
So it's 50% of
Yeah,
that? It's not
correct,
okay.
correct.
All right. The wording is a little strange. The other thing is, who does this person report to?
To me, this is Robert Tagorda, who's our Broad resident from the Broad
So
Foundation.
it's the intern that
Correct.
is studying to be a superintendent. Okay. All righty. Thank you.
Very good. Mr. Stallings.
Mr. President, I'm very sorry, but I meant to tell the board that we had a correction on item number 60 in the contracts report, and while before we move off that report, the funding on that says Master Plan Facilities Administration. It also needs to include in that bond proceeds as a possible funding source.
Which item?
Number
on
60.
purchasing?
That's the FRP of
Right,
Computer-Aided Facility Management Software Application?
right.
Oh, okay.
Very good. So note that.
I believe the board already voted on that under the original.
We did.
I apologize. Could I request another vote with the updated funding sources to include
to
bond
reconsider.
proceeds?
Very good.
Move to reconsider
second.
on 60.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I apologize.